Hello, my name is Gary Ferguson. My author name is Gary Ferguson Reid. I've added my mother's maiden name because it feels right to do so. I have lived a very simple life in a small Canadian town. I spent most of my 63 years as a basic laborer in service to the traveling public. I love music, movies, and sports, and in particular, tennis and ping pong. I love my family and friends, and they love me. For most of my life, I have been very content to live it on a 10-mile leash. At the age of 7, it was given to me to write a book. In my mid-teens, a vision gave me the theme of that book. The 10-mile leash was enough for me because that vision, a deep and compelling thought, was the anchor in my everyday. It gave purpose to the challenge before me and to my unusual life experience. I am a down-to-earth visionary who was given an original perspective regarding the second coming. I am both blessed and burdened to be living a life designed specifically to give the human family a little more of the truth that applies to everyone. That truth is the foundation of peace on earth. When I was a child beginning to assimilate myself as an individual in the world, I recognized one attribute was the most prominent part of my makeup. There was goodness in me. I was a good child and a good boy, and I loved being a good person. I enjoyed my good nature for almost 12 years. In those years, I didn't know my soul had been fully restored to oneness with God, and goodness was my inherent nature. I didn't know the higher nature of God, represented by the female aspect of being, was now part of my soul and would push out into manifestation in the appropriate season. I didn't know I would be a new kind of man in this lifetime, and my physical growth to manhood would occur in 2 stages, separated in time by many years. And I didn't know I would spend those years needing to understand the truth that applies to all being, so I could share it and do what I had to do to prove to God in me that I am healed of every lesser thought I ever had about who I am and why I am here. I am in the process of becoming the man I've always envisioned myself to be. That man is one who contains and imparts love, truth, and joy in this world. That man knows why it is not in his own best interest to hurt, damage, or destroy another human being. That man is a self-governing person who applies his understanding in daily life and lives at peace with all being. That man is at peace because of the growth of his inner being. He is at peace with God in him and honors the same in every other person. I can give you the truth that applies to all being. For me, that's the easy part. God gave me that for the very purpose of giving it to you. The most difficult part for me is what every adult male takes for granted. Manhood. I have to earn mine. How would life change for us if full physical maturity took 60 years to complete? We've never considered that. On first thought, it seems almost absurd. But what if physical maturity for one kind of man took 60 years to complete, and there was nothing wrong with that? What if the growth of the inner being, the spirit, and the outer being, the physical form, occurred simultaneously and were in such perfect harmony and so delicately and inexplicably connected that the outer being was simply a direct reflection of the growth of the inner being? What if we are busy manifesting on the outside all that we are on the inside, and the physical form is always a direct reflection of our inner growth so far? And what if we are God on the inside? What if mankind is the physical body of God, and achieving full physical maturity for one kind of man hinged on the ability to express absolute truth in a relative world as a prerequisite set by God nature for becoming a healed man, one who is whole on the inside, complete on the outside, and healed of every lesser thought we ever had about who we are and why we are here. If that experience were to manifest in this reality, it would change our awareness of who we are. It would change our collective story. That new awareness could open the human family to new possibilities. The world could change simply because we would have been introduced to a new kind of man. Biblical quote, "And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness." Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23-24. Most of us think the human body is the origin of all experience, but there is more to God and truth than we have realized. Truth is the gem at the core of every manifested thing, and God is more human a story than we think. Oneness is the spirit of the age now dawning, with an accent on honesty and truthfulness, absolutely essential if we are to embrace the reason we are here. I share my story and visionary perspective in service to the evolution of civilization. The new man, whole and complete, the spirit of an age, is the fulfillment of my responsibility to God to write a book.